in the Lake District, which is focus on what you have, not on what you've lost or lack. That is amazing. And this is serious here. If there's any walking pole designers watching on, this is what I need, I've decided. And not only that, but there were hundreds of bats as well. They were flying around that tall tree. Just dropping down now into Burton Bradstock. Lunchtime. Well, good morning. Oh, we are already out on the trail. I was up early this morning and I'm already, well, 2/3 of the way up Golden Cap. It's day 3 of my 4-day Dorset Coast backpack, and it is another glorious morning, as you can see, and it's already very warm. So I've put on my micro pore cooling scarf, which you soak in water basically and drape it around your neck, and it's good so far, I have to say. That was funny. I had a fly crawling across the lens of my GoPro so I had to stop the video for a second because he's walking across my picture. I've been photo bombed by a little fly. I don't know if that'll come out on the video. Anyway, yes, I'm well underway already. I was up not long after 6 this morning, and because it's so warm the tent's dried out quite quickly, so I was able to pack up and get out early this morning. because today you've got 17 miles to go today, which is the longest day. I might be a bit creative on the way, because there's one particular bit. Oh no, I've got another fly. There's one particular part between Charmouth and Lyme Regis where the coast path crumbled many years ago and has never been reinstated, so that's not a very interesting walk. So I might well, if it works out, pick up the bus at Charmouth and just bus those 3 miles to Lyme Regis and then get walking again from there. And I'm going to Beer Head today, so that would mean a walk of around 14-15 miles, which I think is probably enough on day 3 after 2 heavy days already. And today's another heavy day. It's up and downy. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning. It promises to be a great day. I hope you're going to continue to follow me on this journey. So I will catch up with you at the top. So actually, before we get up to the top, I should mention that the reason this is called Golden Cap is because of the colour of the stone. I think it's sandstone. You can see the streak going down, so it's got that kind of golden colour, and that is why Golden Cap is so called. And it is, I believe, the highest point on the south coast of England, and the views from the top are amazing. At the top. This is the view down from Golden Cap. You can see down the bottom there at Seatown. In fact, you can actually see the field that I was camped in. Just see the tents around the outside. Bit of a slopey field. And then over the other side is Thorncombe Beacon, which is where the headland I climbed over yesterday. In fact, all of that coastline you can see there pretty much. I walked yesterday. Slightly hazy up here, but it's a fantastic view. So we've crossed the top of Golden Cap now, and we're now looking west. Oh, about to drop down again, and that is the view west. So in there we have Charmouth. You can see Charmouth is the first village. That's my first stopping point. Lyme Regis is the second village over there. It's between those two that you get, well, can get the bus. And then continuing west, I think it must be the far headland, must be Beer Head, where I'm heading for today, but I'm not totally sure because I haven't actually got the map. But we are heading down now, and you'd think we got the main climb over, so therefore it should be easy, but trust me, it's not, because between here and Charmouth is very up and down. There's a stone chat on top of the signpost. Shame I haven't got my long lens. So I'm going to take a short detour here. I don't normally do it when I'm backpacking and carrying weight. But I'm just going to go across to the right to look at St Gabriel's on the way through. So St Gabriel's is down in the valley here. The coast path actually goes over there, but we can pick up the coast path a slightly different route. But St Gabriel's was a little hamlet, oh no, village I suppose. It's got a church, or had a church, so I guess it must have been a village. It's now a deserted village, apart from, I think there's a couple of cottages and there's a house down there. I think they're probably holiday lets, I think, I'm not sure. But it used to be actually a fishing village really, because over to the left is St Gabriel's Mouth, which is at the bottom of the valley, and that's where they used to keep the boats, down the bottom. And this was the village down here. But obviously the fishing industry folded, the village is now deserted and the church is ruined. So this is St Gabriel's Church, now ruined, but at one time a thriving church and a thriving village. There isn't much left of it, as you can see. So it's actually called Seaton St Gabriel. It goes back to 1086, a village of farming and fishing. So the church was once a thriving church, and in fact people wanted to get it restored because they had to walk to a neighbouring village to go to church when it fell into disrepair, but they didn't get their way, and hence why it's crumbled away. But there's a manor house which is still here. So this is the manor house at Seaton St Gabriel, and you can stay in it. It is a let, holiday let. So it always intrigues me, these places, kind of deserted village, and I kind of think, what was that like when it was a thriving and working village with guys going out fishing on their boats down off St Gabriel's Mouth, and farming. Obviously there would have been farming as well. This, yeah, fascinates me just to think about those people and what they were like, what their lives were like, and what it was like when things started to crumble here, and gradually the village faded into nothing, and they all went their kind of separate ways, or died, or whatever. Yeah, interesting. There's another cottage there. There's one or two of the dwellings are still here, and the church changed its use as well. After it ceased to be a church, it became a storage unit for smugglers' contraband. So it carried on its useful life, so to speak. Well, there's just one or two welcome flat bits on this route between Golden Cap and Stone Barrow, which I think is the headland in the front of me. 4 miles or 3, probably 3 miles in fact. And there aren't many flat bits, so when you get them, we enjoy them. And there's just a very slight breeze blowing off the sea, and that's really welcome because it's extremely hot today. I don't know what temperature is, but it's got to be at the top end of the 20s, I'd have thought. That's a lovely path to walk, look. Nice grassy path. That view in front. Trouble is, when you get down the bottom, you've got to go all the way up there. Never mind. Let's enjoy this bit while we've got it. It's a shame they cut the grass here, because this is often a beautiful hay meadow down here, but they obviously already harvested it. And they've got a welcome party. Got a nice meadow, haven't they? It's lovely. After you. Hello. Are you going to move? Come on, mother. I've got to get by. Come on then, can I come through? You do have to be a little bit careful when you've got cows with young, they can be very protective. Well, I did say it was very up and down. So the steepest bit is yet to come. I've been chatting to a young couple from the Netherlands who are over here for a week doing some backpacking of the Dorset coast, carrying similar weight to me. I always think that must be hard. You live in a really flat country and you come over to England and climb all these headlands. They're loving it though. So looking back to Golden Cap, we're nearly at the top of Stone Barrow. Last little bit to go. And here we are. Isn't that beautiful? With the heather all out in flower. Charmouth down here, Lime Reed is over there. Beer is beyond the headland. Ah, fantastic. It's nice to see this path open, because the coast path from Stone Barrow to Charmouth was closed for many years, so it's good to see it open again, because when it was closed you had to detour inland, go down the road, which was really not so nice. Interesting gate. I'm nearly in Charminster. Charmouth, not Charminster, nearly in Charmouth. So the best laid plans of mice and men gang off to Gley, as the as the saying goes, often go wrong, and sometimes it's because of buses that don't turn up. So I'm walking it anyway. Yeah, bus didn't turn up at Charmouth, and apparently it's stuck at Chiddock. I don't know what, but there's a log jam at Chiddock, so I guess there's been an accident or something. So I wasn't going to wait another hour for the bus to turn up, and I decided to walk it instead. We're off road at the minute. See lime reeds down there with the cob stretching out to sea. So it won't be long before we're down there now. And this is actually quite a nice path, I have to say. I've been down here before. There's some lovely meadows down here. So I heard some weird noises coming from the tree back there. Really odd sound, and I thought, wow, I don't recognise that bird. So I got my bird app out, and it listened, and I didn't get anything either. And then I suddenly thought, I bet it's a squirrel. Squirrels make some really strange noises sometimes, and that one sounded just like a bird. So I guess that's what it was. It is very busy. One of those places to kind of rush through and get out the other side. So this is Lyme Regis Harbour, which I'm about to leave now and head off up onto the cliff path again. So from here we can see where we've walked. You can actually see Golden Cap in the distance and all the coast that we've walked today. So we're climbing again. But the good thing is that most of the next 5 miles or so it's going to be in the trees, so it'll be lovely and sheltered from the sun. Ah, 7 miles to Seaton, and then another couple of miles to Beer beyond that, so about 9 miles to do today. We get a better view of the coast from up here actually. Golden Cap. First climb of the day that was. So it's 5 miles the undercliffs, very up and down. It is a site of international importance for its kind of biodiversity, I guess. So the undercliffs started life as coastal erosion, where the cliffs up to the right collapsed and left this terrace, if you like, between the cliff tops and the sea. So it's kind of halfway up and halfway down, and it's known as the undercliffs. So it was erosion that caused it, but it was turned into a tourist attraction. I think it was Victorians, not sure, we'll already find out as we go along, who turned it into a tourist attractions. There were tea rooms along here. I think there's a mill or two. There's some cottages, well, remains now, but we'll see some of those. And people used to come here to visit, specifically visit the undercliffs. And obviously the coast path now runs along them. And yeah, there's various remains which we'll pick up as we go. There's a warning sign. Takes most people 3.5 to 4 hours to walk to Seaton. Difficult terrain, arduous walking, and there's no access to sea or inland. So you've got to keep going. This is one of the issues, of course, with this path. There are lots of tree roots, lots of trip hazards, lots of rocky parts, and lots of mud as well. Even today, after the hot week we've had, I've passed quite a lot of mud back there, so you have to watch where you're placing your feet. And there's lots of steps as well. Funny how the weather can affect your view of a track. Normally, when you backpack the coast, or walk the coast even, you're doing it because you love the coast, you love the sea, you love the views that you get. And sometimes when you walk through here, it can kind of get a bit tedious. You can wind up, after several miles of this, thinking, when am I going to get through this and out the other end so I can get some views and get out onto the open coast again? But not today. Today I'm actually thinking, wow, thank goodness for this dappled shade that I'm walking through, because it's such a hot day that this is a relief and a blessing. And it is a wonderful path. It is really, really interesting the way it winds in and out and up and down and through the trees. A little bit of open every now and again, but we won't actually see the sea until we get right out the other end of it. And I've actually just realised another benefit. refresh my cooling scarf because it's gone dry on me. So basically it's a micropore scarf that you soak, and then you're supposed to flick it and it's really cooling. Wrap it round my neck and that'll keep me cool again. You know what, I saw this scarf in a shop and I didn't actually believe it would work. I thought, there, it's a gimmick. But actually today I've been really glad of it. You just tie it around your neck and it's wet and cold. So yeah, really useful, I think. Oh, I've just spotted something. Don't know if it's new. We can get kind of sea glimpses from here. I'd forgotten about this bit. It's about as good as it gets though. That's a wonderful old tree. It's been pollinated, of course, by woodlands. It wasn't originally woodlands when it collapsed in the first place. You can actually see there a little bit of the inland cliffs now, just there through the trees. You can see the cliff face and you can see how far this slumped to get down to this level. You can't see it very often because obviously it's shrouded in trees. You get a clearer view of them now. That's quite a slump. And here's one of the relics. The Rousden pumping station. Coal-fired steam pumping station. Love the old pictures. And this is it. All that's left of it. And I guess this is part of it as well. You can see there's a wall there. And a stream running down still. Another view. And a nice beach down there too. Legally you can't get down there as far as I know. There's no official footpath. And you can see the coast across the other side too. For this view, you can clearly see Golden Cap in the distance. Strange to think that we were there a few hours ago. Just puts it into perspective how far we've walked today. Oh, thank you, Seat. That's a nice little spot to have a sit. Take on a bit of sustenance. Swap my socks around to freshen my feet up. Rehydrated. Now we can crack on again. This is such a lovely path. I know it's very up and downy and all the stuff I was saying earlier, but I mean in terms of the light, this wonderful dappled sunlight coming through. It's really lovely. There's another relic from the old days. Dates from 1800, the sheep wash, which is where they brought the sheep to be washed prior to being shorn and the fleece being sold. Apparently increased the value of the fleece by 1/3. Interesting. I guess that's where they went in. So the sign says the Great Collapse was in 1839. It must have been massive, mustn't it? So you're in the undercliffs. The walk is 5 miles or so. Imagine that lot going. I mean, the coast erosion we get these days is bad, but imagine all this lot, 5 miles of coast collapsing. Wow. And still it goes on. All the way up there. Oh, it looks like we're coming out of the undercliff. Because it looks like we're almost up to the top now, and you can see Beer Head in the distance. Oh, this is interesting. Goat Island. So when the land slipped, there was a great chasm that formed, which effectively created a bit of what was like an island. And it's quite famous. Even Queen Victoria came and visited. And there's a piece of music as well, composed after it, the Landslip Quadrille. Wow, who knew that? And Goat Island is a nature reserve. And beautiful it is too, I have to say. Well, it was such an inviting path. I thought I'd just come down and take a look. Wow. Whoa, look at that. A peregrine? Oh no, is it a kestrel? No, it's not kestrel. Ah, can't see what that is. But look at this drop. Probably shouldn't get too close to the edge, should I, since it's a landslip area. But this is beautiful. A lovely meadow. That's magic, that is. Really lovely. Well, I'm out of the undercliffs, I've come across the headland, and I'm now in a tunnel. I'm just starting to drop down to Seaton. Not to be confused with Seatown, where I was yesterday. But this is quite welcome. Gives me a chance to cool off a little bit. I've arrived in Seaton. It's a nice old bridge. Seems to swimming with a guitar. Interesting. We're on the seafront at Seaton. Beer Head is in the distance. In fact, you can make out the caravans at the top of the headland, and the camping field is part of that. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is you can see the white cliffs to the right of where the caravans are. We've got to go over that, so we've still got another climb over the top to drop down to Beer, and then another climb to climb out of Beer up to Beer Head. But hopefully they're not too big. Well, I've forgotten how laborious the route is from Seaton to Beer. I've done it lots of times, but it's another bit that follows the A road for a chunk of time, so it's not most exciting, but I'm off of that temporarily. And there's about a mile, I think, to go, hopefully. Well, hopefully no more. Well, I'm nearly at the top of the white cliffs that we saw earlier, which is the last main climb of the day. This is a view back to Seaton, and beyond that, obviously, the Lyme Regis undercliff that we walked. And it's clouded over a little bit now, and there's a little bit of a breeze, so it's quite pleasant. Right, let's get this climb finished. It's another rookery. And so we get the first sight of Beer, at least the beach and the headland. It's the last climb of the day to get up to my campsite. Well, that was quite an eventful end to the day in the end. So I got here late, obviously. So I was late putting the tent up anyway. Can't get onto the pitch I was given because somebody else has pitched where I'm supposed to be. Couldn't get the tent up because the ground is so stony that I couldn't get the tent pegs in. And of course there's nobody here to actually talk to because reception's closed. So a belated signing off of the video. Doesn't take away from the day. It's been an absolutely magic day. It's been a tough one, I have to say. Something like 18 and a half, between 18 and 19 miles, which is crazy. It's the longest walk I've done for 3 years at least. And that's just an ordinary walk, leave alone backpacking. Anyway, it's been a fantastic day. I've loved it anyway, regardless, and we've certainly seen some amazing views, and it's just been wonderful. The weather, of course, has been amazing again. You could argue too hot, but hey, let's not be picky. It was brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to sign this video off now and say thanks very much for coming with me. It's been a great day. I hope you've enjoyed it. And it'll soon be time for another one, of course, because it's day 4 tomorrow. Here ends day 3. So thanks so much for coming with me. And for now, this is me, the Dorset Rambler, belatedly in the tent, saying until next time. Well, good morning. It's day 4 of my 4-day Dorset coast backpack, or actually technically day 3.5, because this is really a half a day because I've got to pick up the train and head home. But it's not the morning I'd hoped for or expected. Before I came, got a job to see the coast, because it's been raining for couple of hours at least. I woke up at 5 o'clock to rain, and it's still raining now, and the forecast is heavy rain later on, so it might take a different shape to the day, I think. Anyway, I had a good night, I slept well, and I don't mind a bit of rain. It's all part of the backpacking experience, so I'm quite happy with that, really. It's just a bit difficult packing everything away when it's raining, because you have to do it in the tent, which is a small one-man tent, and I'm not as agile as I used to be, so it's a challenge. And the tent goes in last, of course, wet, so the pack is heavier. Anyway, we're all set to go, so I hope you're going to stay with me, because it'll still be a good day. I've got something good planned anyway, so let's get going. So my initial route this morning is back into Beer, of course, which is where I'm dropping down to. And then basically I'm going to retrace my steps from yesterday. So I'm going to climb back up over the headland over there, and I'm going to drop back down into Seaton. That's probably about 2 miles. It's a bit of a convoluted route, unfortunately. It takes you kind of inland and along some road, because the coast path is not all there. I think part of it must have gone a long time ago. Anyway, so that's my starting point. I should reach Seaton, don't know, hour maybe. So this is where I was going to come for dinner last night. It's the Anchor Inn at Beer, and I have this amazing beer garden which looks out across the beach. But it didn't happen. I got there so late. By the time I got the tent up and everything, it was too late to walk 3/4 of a mile back down to Beer. So I didn't get my beer in Beer, sadly. So this is Beer Village. I'm not going to stop here. I love the fact that it's got this stream running down beside the road. I I will do is just pop down to the beach before I head out. So what I had hoped to be able to do is get some breakfast down here on the beach, but oh, a deck chair, look, got loads of those. Well, there is a kiosk over there which is still there, but since it's raining I don't think it's going to be much fun sitting out in the rain with a coffee, or breakfast indeed. But it's such a great place, Beer. I love it. It's a really awesome place. And they've still got fishing boats, I assume. It looks like they're real fishing boats, mackerel fishing. That's probably take parties out, I expect. But this is what a deserted English beach looks like on a wet summer day. And that's a headland I've got to climb over. Well, you've got a job to see the headland I came over yesterday. Look, just see the tip of it, completely shrouded in low cloud. Starts. Seaton 2 miles. Last look at Beer Beach before we head off. I could spend hours here, I have to say. I love beer. We're actually gone across the border, of course, because beer is in Devon. but I could spend hours here. In this weather, it's atmospheric with the fishing boats and empty deck chairs. I could spend hours here photographing. And they do fish, by the way. There's actually a fish stall down there selling locally caught fish. So I'm guessing they go out early in the morning and sell it during the day. Well, I'm heading up into the cloud. Raining again. We're over the top of the headland now, downhill for a little bit. It's a lovely atmospheric morning, I have to say. I don't know how it's going to come out on the video because my lens is probably all wet from rain. And we've reached Seaton. Cleared slightly over there on the headland. It's my campsite up there. I'm not sure it's going to last. It's a very slight drizzle in the air at the minute, but no more than that. So we've got to walk along the seafront. Now today is a day with a difference, and it was always going to be a day with a difference, because from Seaton there's a tramway that goes from Seaton only 2 or 3 miles north, well, I think that's about right, and it goes to a place called Collyton, and it's an old tram on rails, vintage line, so I was always intending to pick that up. So I'm going to still do that. Now what happens when I reach Collyton, I'm not quite sure, because the rain is supposed to be really setting in kind of 12ish, I think, and if it's going to rain heavily all afternoon, which I think it's meant to, then I'm not really geared up to walk in that. I've got my ultra light kind of shower proof, water resistant top on, but it is very definitely not waterproof, so it could be pretty soaking. So I'll see. I'll get the tram to Collyton and decide from there what I do. So we're about to leave the coast and head inland One last look, and there's somebody there, look, just got out of the sea. There's a lot of seagulls. Actually, there was a lot of seagulls at Beer Head over there last night, or early morning I should say. Lovely atmospheric morning, despite the weather. Oh, because of the weather. Oh, that was very nice. I enjoyed that. Now we're going to head to the tram station, and the weather is starting to really set in, so I think I'm probably going to wind up cutting this short. It was going to be a short day anyway, probably a total of about 8 or 9 miles, because as I said earlier, I've got to travel home. But I think in actual fact I've probably done 3 or 4 miles so far, but I think that might be the end of the walking. I don't know, because the tramway takes me to Collyton, and at Collyton I could probably pick up a bus to Axminster, where I pick up my train home. Anyway, we'll see. It's raining quite steadily at the moment. So we're now at the tram station. That's my tram.
Bed of an old railway line which lasted nearly 100 years till 1966, and it closed under the beaching cuts.
So we are off the tram, now walking to the town centre of Collyton, and it is raining quite hard now, as you can see. So I think Collyton might be the end of my walking for this week. A bridge that's no longer a bridge. So I'm now at Axminster station on the final leg of my 4-day backpack. Today has not been the day I expected. Much shorter walk. It was only going to be a short day anyway, but it's turned out shorter. But I got a good tram ride, and I actually enjoyed walking in the rain this morning, bizarrely, after hot days. I actually quite enjoyed a bit of cooling rain. It makes a change, and very atmospheric. Anyway, I'm about to start my journey home. So it's been a fantastic 4 days. Had some amazing weather, some great camp pitches, and some nice beachside pubs for food and amazing views. And I'm really pleased that I've been able to do so many miles. I don't know how many, it's getting on towards 50 probably over the days. I think I've been averaging about 15 miles a day into today, so I'm very pleased with that, and it's all gone well. So I'm going to sign the video off now. So thanks so much for coming with me. I hope you've enjoyed the trip. I've loved it as always. But for now, this is me, the Dorset Rambler, saying until next time.